Hey, it's another day. I want to welcome Meg Schmidtz to the podcast webinar. What do we call these things anyway? I think we just call them interesting. And I
Yeah.
want to thank Meg for being here. So Meg is a long time friend of mine. She's a franchise guru. She helps people, military, former executives find franchises to be able to get invested in, to be able to find their next career. And with your next career, a lot of people are struggling with what that looks like. And Meg is someone that when they meet her, she's someone that's able to help them find their next path. So anyway, welcome, Meg. Thank you for being here today.
Chad, thank you for having me on for the interview today.
So maybe share with me, and we were just talking about even where my son said, hey, I want to get into a Great Clips. Maybe share with us for a couple of minutes about your experience getting into the franchise world, and then how did you get into the world of selling franchises and helping people find their path?
So I was in my late 20s, early 30s. I'm 61 now, so that was more than half a life ago. My husband at the time went to the Rosemont Horizon. There was an expo, franchise expo, and he came home and said, well, people have cars, people need to eat, people have hair, so let's do this hair care thing called Great Clips. And I said, are you nuts? What do we know about cutting hair? It's like, you don't need to know anything. You don't need to know anything. You unlock the doors, turn on the lights. It's a franchise. People know why they're there. They're there to get their hair cut, which is true. So that's how I got into business in the first place. Long time ago, we went from a single unit, opened 3, got divorced after that. Know who you're getting into business with. But after 5 locations, someone made me an offer I couldn't refuse. That's when I jumped the fence and came over to the consulting side. So I don't consider myself a broker. It's much more consultative process that I work people through in order to help them understand why are we having this? Why do you want to own a business? Why are we having this conversation? And if you do own a business, what will it do for you that will improve your life, make you happy, bring you joy, bring you abundance? It's a very tactical approach to finding the right solution for each individual.
So, what is your advice for others as someone would come to you and say, listen, I'm working at XYZ company. I want to be done. I'm in the military. I'm about to retire. I want to be done. What's your advice for people to be able to get into a franchise? And I think people are also really scared about success.
Mhm.
How do you get them to cross over and see success, even though it might be shown to them on a piece of paper?
So interesting. The corporate world is not too dissimilar from the military. It's an indoctrination. You've got a motto, you've got a product, you've got a deliverable. Everybody knows what the battlefield looks like and the win looks like. So corporate, there's some corporate people, just like there's some military people who are their career. That's it. They're comfortable there. Maybe they hate it, but it's easier to stay doing the same thing than to change. So to the point of fear and addressing fear, I think the easiest way to address fear is number one, acknowledge the emotion, but number two, acknowledge the lack of information that is feeding that fear. That's usually where it comes from, is a lack of information. So I'm all about fact finding and then having the individual prove to themselves that they've put together a business plan and they're sure that this particular franchise is the right answer.
So, one of the things I know about you, Meg, is that you like to race cars and drive fast.
Don't tell the police, but yes.
And therefore, you have to trust your instincts based upon practice and repetitive behavior and really taking your foot off the brake to go fast and get where you want to go.
Yeah.
I think the idea around the franchise is you need to almost believe that it will work for sure, no matter what, if you wake up every day and you show up.
Absolutely. Okay, so yes, I do love to race cars. I do love to drive fast. I drive manual transmission, and I'm constantly aware of the fact that at 92 miles an hour, I might get a ticket. It doesn't keep me from doing it. I figure that to be a calculated risk. And that's what this decision is, taking the leap of faith to having never owned a business before to now owning the right business. It is a research project that is predicated on milestones and checking boxes and getting information. So there's a lot of compare and contrast that people can do to compare one concept. It's like driving different cars. You like one better because now you've compared it to a number of other cars that you've driven. So it's a great process for people to go through and prove to themselves that owning this business is going to bring them the abundance that they're looking for.
Right. So with the idea around abundance, right, and the idea that you jumped in and you bought 3 stores and built it out, franchising is kind of like the cookie cutter opportunity
Yep.
to being able to have a business where they do all the thinking for you.
Yeah.
And in the way of financing, whether you go to the SBA or you go to banks, you could get financing and you could have yourself a business.
Yes.
And so, with that, what are some of the trends today that are the more popular franchises that people come to you and say, "Oh, I want to do this franchise," but they end up doing a different franchise? What's kind of like the trend on what people like to do today?
Well, so people will ask me if I follow my passion, I'll be successful, right? So, well, let's be careful about passion and how you identify that. Because if you say to me, "Oh, yoga, yoga, it nourishes my soul," I would never sell you. I would never show you a yoga franchise because then it's going to suck all the life out of what allows you to unplug and restore your battery. Now, if somebody says, "I'm passionate about helping the community. I want to be a pillar in my community with a concept that really allows me to be sort of the mayor of town." That's easy. That's a whole different kind of a do, because now we can take a look at your role in the business is different from being passionate about the business and making that work.
So you've been in the franchise space for many years. How many people do you think you're working with right now who are you're kind of guiding towards whether they should do a franchise or not?
So I don't buy any leads, Chad. I stopped doing that in 2012. So I only work with personal referrals. So it gives me the skinniest little pipeline of super high quality people, which means I've got more time to dedicate to real active investigations rather than tire kickers. So right now I can tell you exactly I'm working with 15 people.
So you're working with 15 people. And on top of that, because I love the idea that you are busy doing things that you feel are productive for your future, you're also right now opening up, would it be your own franchise?
Yeah.
And maybe describe what that looks like and your thought process around how you yourself got into this business versus someone else doing this business.
So I come from the world of franchising. I come from the world of Great Clips. I had 5 locations. I sold those in 2002, but I've always been a frustrated artist. I'm not good with my hands. I'm not good with a paintbrush or anything. Anybody who's in the world of beauty and wellness, they're in your space. They're touching your head. You get a massage. They're touching your body. I have such a deep appreciation for the creative, artistic aspect of cosmetology, but the world of beauty and wellness is so vast that for me, like a kid in the candy store, I looked at this concept and I thought, okay, here's a way for me to get back into a franchise that I would be excited about. Really, I love these beauty professionals and finding out what they do, braiding and tattooing, massaging, whatever, besides hair care. And so I'm back in a world of creatives that nourishes my soul in a way that I can't do on my own. So I get really energized from being around these 40 beauty professionals who are renting a suite in this particular business. It's up in Milwaukee. It's called Image Studios, but it's not here in the Chicago area.
But if someone wanted to do it in the Chicago area, you could help them
Yeah.
do that when they're here.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is, Richard Branson has 750 businesses that he's affiliated with. And entrepreneurs feel many times they can only do one business or one activity. And what I like to talk about is you could do multiple activities that are associated with each other and do them well. And so, like the example would be a Coe Financial Group, right, where I manage money and help people with their retirement planning. I'm able to do these interviews because I believe it not only helps my clients and the relationships I have, but it helps you with your massive network and the people that you're working with. And I think it enlightens people on what's possible and what's out there for us to be able to see.
Yeah. And you know me, I'm a big advocate of not this or that. Why not think in abundant terms and do this and that?
Yeah.
So I keep my franchise day job, my consulting business is alive and well, skinny little pipeline. So I have high quality interactions with a limited number of people. That gives me more time then to diversify and do this and that and that and that. And to your point, like Richard Branson, my husband and I are invested in about 125 different startups. So we're surrounded by entrepreneurs all the time. I see the world of risk and reward, but I see the world of risk every day. That gives me the confidence to go ahead with a franchise because that's a world I'm very comfortable with. But people are so self-limiting when they tell themselves, oh, I don't have the time. I don't have, well, yeah, you do. Because the more diversified you are, the more you are protected from the risk of a single failure, a job, losing a job. Well, in this particular hiring economy, that's tough. But if you had a franchise business that you don't run full time, like I never cut hair at Great Clips, I always had that annuity running in the background that gave me the money so that I didn't have to worry about losing a job until the time I decided I was ready to quit the job. So
I find that awesome.
think in terms of I can do that. If I show up every day and I do the work, then the results will come through.
And I just want to put it out there for anyone watching who likes this interview, please subscribe to Chad Coe Financial on YouTube because I am trying to get my follower base up because I am taking the risk that I want to grow and be able to help more people be able to see the light to business and to abundance. Meg, I'm looking real quick because we have another minute or two. You have the Free Agent Podcast. You're an author and a speaker, and you're willing to talk to people about them and what inspires them to be great.
Yeah.
How do people find you?
Easiest is my website, megschmidtz.com. If you Google my name, you'll see 10 pages of ways to not only find me, but also read some of the material that has been published, LinkedIn, YouTube, etc. The podcast is Free Agent with Meg Schmidtz. If you just do Free Agent, there are a ton of them. So you have to put my name in there. But for example, people can put in the search bar, Free Agent Meg Schmidtz, Chad Coe, and they will find the 2 interviews that you and I have done for my podcast. So this is a world of cross promotion here. It's always fun to have you on as well to talk about wealth management, which you excel at the relationship side of getting to know people and really customizing their experience. It's the same thing that I do. And that's what makes us both successful.
And I think by being out there and doing and risking and being positive about the risk is always a good thing. And again, thank you so much for being here today. We're going to get this out there for everyone to see. If you like it, subscribe and make a comment and share. Thank you very much, Meg. Thank you very much. I'm so glad we were able to do this today.
Thanks for pivoting with me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right.